Hey everybody, how's it going? Big Blue Shampoo. My name's Tyler Blanchard. We got a lot of things to talk about as our head coach and general manager just had their combine press conferences. Pat Shurmur and Dave Gettleman, respectively. Um, I kind of chose just some points I wanted to hit just for the sake of time, just the important things that I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm going to try to keep this under 20 minutes. Just I know this is going to be a long video. All my videos have been longer than I wanted them to so far, so I'm gonna focus on keeping this under 20 minutes. So we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start with Pat Shurmur and just kind of fade into Dave Gettleman, and they might intertwine at some points because to me, Dave Gettleman's press conference was more important than Pat Shurmur's because DG's the one that makes the decisions, right? So when Pat Shurmur says something, obviously it holds more water than when Ian Rappaport says something because Pat Shurmur actually he talks to Dave Gettleman. He's actually part of the decisions, but the final say is Dave Gettleman. So we'll jump right into it. I love that he spoke on this. He spoke on the Landon Collins situation, and he said that it was reported with far more drama than what actually happened. And he said there have been talks between him, Dave Gettleman. I assume the front office. He didn't really say anyone who did have the talks, but he insinuated that there were talks between the Giants front office and Landon Collins. Claims that there weren't talks are debunked. He said it was reported with far more drama than what actually happened. So pretty much what everyone thought was happening probably was not happening, right? I wanted to preface it with that, guys. We had this exact same conversation a couple years ago when JPP was going to be signed. We didn't know if he was going to be playing on the Giants in 2017 or something like that, and we weren't sure. Or was it 2016? It was the 2017 off season, right before the 2017 season, I believe, right? And then there was so a couple years ago. So we didn't know, and there was all these things going on with JPP holding out and all this stuff. Guys, it's just part of a player's career. He's 20. I think Landon Collins is 25 right now. He's just coming off of his rookie deal. He's set to become a free agent. This is the part of his career where he wants to stay on the team where he was drafted. But he also wants that big contract, and he knows he deserves it, and he does deserve it. He's Landon Collins. He's a really solid player, and he's the team captain. Team captains are valuable. Leaders are valuable on a team. I think that the Giants they're gonna keep him. I'm seeing way too many fans now. I try not to listen to the fans because, and I'm a fan, but I'm a practical one. I'm not just saying things because that's how I feel. I mean, sometimes I do, but I mean, at least I try to use logic. And a lot of these fans are talking about they're talking about Landon Collins. I can't see Landon Collins coming back. Why can't you see that? It's one thing to say, oh, well, he might not be coming back, but it's another thing to say, I really can't see him coming back. It's not really true. I'm sorry if you can't see him coming back. But moving on, I think Landon Collins, obviously the Landon Collins situation, about a week ago with the locker and everything, it's pretty much water under the bridge at this point. And then Pat Shurmur goes on. He's talking about other things, and he said that somebody asked him about Eli, and he said he fully expects Eli to be back. And he said, that's pretty much all he said about that. Yeah, he fully expects him to be back. To me, that might, and Dave Gettleman also he talks about this a little bit too, which we'll talk about later. But he said he pretty much doubled down on Eli, pretty much saying, yeah, Eli's gonna be on the Giants and he's gonna be playing. He's probably gonna be the starter. And he says, based on he said once they started putting talent around him to help him out, they were able to see what he was capable of. And we'll talk about that a little later. But I wanted to mention this may debunk the idea of a pay cut for Eli Manning to me. Because to me, when front office personnel starts talking about, pretty much doubling down on a player, that doesn't really mean that they're going to have to take a pay cut. Because there's no ultimatum there. It's not like, okay, Eli, either you're taking a pay cut or we're cutting you. That doesn't mean that it can't happen, because they could be like, hey, Eli, it'd be really great if you help us out. We want to win football games. You're kind of at the end of your career, or towards the end of your career here. Please take a pay cut. And Eli is a classy guy. He might do it. But to me, it might make it a little bit less of a possibility. And then Pat Shurmur talked a little bit about Odell Beckham and said he looks forward to having him back. And he said he's been in contact with him. So to me, that that probably means that he's not being traded. Not that I thought that he was being traded, or anyone with common sense thought he was being traded, because they weren't saying that he was going to be traded. And if a team doesn't talk about him being traded, or any reputable reporters saying that he might be traded, then he's probably not going to be traded. And then the Dave Gettleman press conference. Now, Dave Gettleman, his words hold a little bit more weight, because he's the one making these decisions. He's the one figuring out, am I going to draft a quarterback? Am I going to draft a pass rusher, an offensive lineman? I want to mention, I know we were just talking about this. I think it's really awesome that Dave Gettleman prefaced his press conference with, he said, I said this before, I'll say it again. We didn't sign Odell Beckham Jr. to trade him. He reiterated. And I think that's really important that he did that. There's way too many people talking about this thing that is not happening. And I've been tweeting about it. I'm getting really tired of it, to be honest with you, because I do follow all these things. I follow all the articles and the tweets, and I want to see something different. Odell trade is not happening. Like, it's not happening. It could happen later on, but there's got to be more signs that it's happening. It can't just be like, oh, well, Odell. No, there's absolutely no reason at all for them to trade him. So I'm glad that he doubled down on that. And he talked about, I'm skipping around a little bit, but I want to keep all my thoughts in the same place. If you want to watch the actual press conference, and it's on the Giants Twitter account, or probably Facebook account too, probably all over social media, so you can go ahead and just check that out. It's probably on YouTube too. Maybe I'll link it down in the description, but you can watch that and kind of get your own take and watch it in order, but I'm kind of skipping around. He talked about tanking, and he mentioned pretty much anyone who's ever tanked for a player, it's never worked. I'm just going to move this a little bit so you're not... Okay. So anytime like an NBA team has tried to tank for a player, it hasn't worked. They haven't won a championship doing that. You don't win by losing. Now, that's not his words, that's mine. You don't win games by losing games. Have the Patriots been tanking for any point in the past 5 years? Have they tanked? Or in the past 20 years? No, they haven't. But they keep winning. They haven't had a losing season in 20 years, or almost 20 years. So tanking's a ridiculous thing. I've just decided anyone who says, "Oh, tank for Kyler Murray," or tank for Haskins, or whatever, or tank for Josh Allen, just ignore them. It's negativity, and you, to me, you're not a real fan. If you want the Giants to lose, then you're not a real fan. Tanking is wanting the Giants to lose. There's no benefit of it. Just either trade up or draft a player where you are. And they were questioning about how Dave Gettleman feels about not having a third-round pick. He said he feels like, or he says that the Giants feel like Sam Beal which is the player that they used their third-round pick on last year, supplementary draft, which is why they don't have a third-round pick this year. They feel Sam Beal would have been drafted in the second round. Guys, don't forget about Sam Beal. Sam Beal he's a serious player. Go watch his highlights. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be good for the Giants as long as he comes back 100% from that injury. We haven't seen him at the next level, but I'm hoping we'll be able to see him in the preseason, see what he can really do. And guys, that's huge. That's huge. The Giants need more corners, and hopefully he's a starting caliber corner. So enough about that. I wanna talk more about Eli Manning, because I think Eli Manning was the theme of this press conference. Not Odell, not Landon Collins. I think the Giants are going to handle the Landon Collins situation. I don't want to worry about that too much. Both Pat Shurmur and Dave Gettleman doubled down on Eli Manning. I am not in the camp that Eli Manning is regressing or aging. Obviously, he's aging. That doesn't mean anything. Eli Manning is the same quarterback he's been since he was drafted, if not better, because of experience. He still makes the same throws. He can still read a defense. He still leads the team. He's still a classy guy. I don't understand. Basically, the argument that he's regressing, he can't make throws anymore, it holds no water. If you actually watch the games, he can still throw the ball 65, 70 yards. He can make huge throws. Yeah, he overthrows sometimes. He's always done that. He's the same quarterback that won 2 Super Bowls. He's the same quarterback that turned it on in the postseason those 2 seasons. He's the same quarterback that the Giants traded for the Cardinals for. Dave Gettleman said Eli can still make big league throws. Now, I just want to mention, Dave Gettleman didn't say this, but I just want to mention it. We live in a blame society, where if something happens, like a bad football season, we have to blame somebody. And who better to blame than the person pretty much leading the team, Eli Manning. I want to reiterate, the Giants led the NFC East in points this season. They're going to score more points this next season. They're going to have a more improved offensive line. I am not worried about the offense. I'm not worried about the QB position. It's not a problem. It is simply not a problem. The QB, not only is it not the biggest problem, but it's not a problem. Don't make it a problem if it's not a problem. That's why I'm really glad you guys, I've mentioned this before, I'm really glad you guys aren't general managers, because you would suck at it and the NFL would suck. Eli can still make big throws. He can still score points. He can still score touchdowns. I want to mention, now I don't have the stats on me. Somebody on the press conference, I can't help but look at the comments because they just fly in. You can't hide them. I wish you could hide them, on Twitter. But someone was saying, just look at the stats. His career's over. It shows from the stats. I'm sorry to tell you, buddy, the stats don't help your case, because he threw for 4,300 yards, 11 interceptions, and 21 touchdowns. Those stats are practically identical to Matt Stafford's. No one's talking about Matt Stafford not being a Lion anymore. And didn't the Lions didn't make the postseason, did they? I don't know. I don't remember. But I mean, both of those seasons, I'm not taking anything away from Matt Stafford. In fact, I'm just saying Eli Manning is a lot better than everyone thinks he is. And I've said this before, it's not padded stats. It's being able to read the field and know where the big plays are. And he's been able to do that with Saquon Barkley. Now, he makes mistakes, a lot of them. He's had seasons where he's thrown 20-plus interceptions. He's not a perfect quarterback. Eli Manning has never been an Aaron Rodgers. He's never been a Pat Mahomes. He's never been a Tom Brady or a Russell Wilson. He's Eli Manning. He's won football games. He's had a long career. Every time he gets knocked down, he stands right back up, and he leads the huddle. His pre-snap awareness is great. guys, you're talking about now with an aging quarterback. Normally, when a team replaces a quarterback, it's because of injuries. It's because of a lot of injuries. They want reliability at quarterback. That's why the Giants are. That's why the Giants aren't getting rid of Eli. They're not getting rid of him. I'm sorry, but they're going to stick with him until it becomes a problem, and it's not a problem yet. If you disagree with me, that's okay. Feel free. I'd love to talk to you about it, and I'll try to be respectful. Because sometimes I get a little heated, but I'll try to, have a discussion with you down in the comments about this because it's a very controversial issue. But to me, Eli Manning, he's never missed a game because of injury. In 15 years, 15 seasons, he's never missed a game because of injury. And he puts up 4,000 yards a season. How are you going to say he's not a good quarterback? He can lead the Giants offense, and it's getting to the point where he doesn't need to be the centerpiece, because some quarterbacks can't be the centerpiece of an offense. They have to be the leader of the offense, which we know he's capable of doing. But he doesn't need to be the centerpiece. Saquon Barkley is going to be the centerpiece of the Giants offense. And Saquon, trust me, everyone knows Saquon's got the stuff to be the centerpiece. It's kind of like, Seahawks centerpiece is Russell Wilson. Green Bay centerpiece is Aaron Rodgers. Chiefs centerpiece is Pat Mahomes. Patriots centerpiece is Tom Brady. But let's see. Trying to think of an example. The Cowboys centerpiece is Ezekiel Elliott, not Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott makes that offense. Trying to think of another example. Not every team. It's not every team where the offense kind of centers around the QB. Every offense is led by the QB, and you need a good leader under center. But I'm starting to get jumbled in this. But I'm really, really super glad that DG doubled down on Eli. I'm glad they're bringing him back. To me, for the draft, I know a lot of people are talking about I forgot his name. It's that interior linebacker or middle linebacker. Man, Devin White. Devin White. I just drew a blank. I really like Devin White. He's a sensational player. To me, the Giants need an edge rusher. If it's not an edge rusher or an offensive lineman, it's not a good pick for me. It needs to be an offensive lineman or an edge rusher. More preferably an edge rusher, or some sort of QB pass rusher. It's edge rusher, O-line, or bust. So I wouldn't be mad if Devin White was a Giant next year, but I mean, he's got problems. Sometimes he's not great. He's not a great tackler. He tackles too high sometimes. He takes too much of the play upon himself sometimes. He doesn't always do his role, but to me, it's got to be a pass rusher. I don't know what pass rusher it's going to be. I still got to keep doing my research real quick because I'm approaching 20 minutes now. Some of my plans, because we already talked about this and we're done with this, some of my plans heading into the next couple months, I want to do my first ever mock draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. Probably going to release it mid-April. That way I don't, release it like in March and then all of a sudden the Giants trade for like a third-round pick or another first-round pick, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do another one. So I want to do it like right before the draft, and I want to figure out how I can do that easier. But that's kind of what I'm planning on doing. Guys, I hope you like this video. I'm going to be doing a lot more. I know this is my second video today. Go watch my other one. It's about Odell Beckham Jr. trade rumors and kind of what my thoughts are on it and why it doesn't make any sense. And some of my other videos, I have like 5 other videos up. Guys, have a good day, and thank you for watching this long video. I'll catch you next time.